welcome to the channel. In today's vlog, I'll be sharing my Army Assessment Center experience with you guys. So sit back and enjoy the story. So yeah, where do I start from? In my previous video, I said after you submit your medical forms and you submitted your police report as well, you then have a phone interview with your CSM. That interview is basically to find out when you are ready to come to the UK for your assessment. So that's when that discussion will be had, and when you give out your dates to the candidate support manager, then that's when they can give you an invitation letter stating when you'll be coming to the UK to have your assessment. So fast forward, I did all of that. I got my visa. So as you can already tell, with your visa, it's all up to you. It has nothing to do with the army. The army is not going to support. They will give you an invitation letter, but that letter doesn't guarantee you get a visa. So you need to make sure you satisfy all the requirements needed for the visitor's visa. So I would suggest going on the website TLS Contact. That's the company that handles the visa applications in Ghana. Or if you're from a Commonwealth country, just try and get in contact with the embassy, the UK embassy in your country, and then find out the requirements needed to apply for a visit visa. I got my visa, I got my flights taken care of by my sponsor as well. That was my brother. I came to the UK. So what I did was I came to the UK about 3 months before my assessment, just to get acclimatized. So I suggest you do that as well. Try and come in time, at least a month or two before, so that you can get used to the weather, because it's very different from back home. So I did that. I don't want to talk too much about my experience at the airport, because it wasn't a really good experience. It was really bad, but I'll leave that one out of this. So fast forward, I came to the country, started training, doing like 5k runs at least 3 times a week, going to the gym, getting fit, ready for the assessment. Well, currently you need to do sickle cell test, but when I was going for my assessments, there was nothing like sickle cell. So once I got in the country, started training, and it was getting closer to my assessment date, I got an email from my CSM, candidate support manager, asking me if I can be able to travel to the assessment center on my own, or I need transport. So I opted for public transport. So I got a train ticket to transport me from my address to the assessment center. But currently, you need to do a sickle cell test. So once you arrive in the country, you'll be booked for a sickle cell test by your CSM. Once you pass that sickle cell test, that's when you get your date for your assessment. Likewise, you'll get an option whether you want to travel on your own or you want public transport. So yeah, the day finally came for me to go for my assessment. As you can see, I dressed like quite formal, because I mean it's a job interview. You are going to prove why you are the best candidate to be selected to join the British Army. So you need to dress for the occasion. I hopped on the train, got to the destination train station, and I saw loads of people dressed like me, so I assumed they were all going for assessment as well. So I joined them because I was a bit lost. I mean, Charlie, coming to this country, I don't really know anywhere. Like, that was like kind of like my first time on a train, because I was always at home. So it was kind of stressful as well. So I asked a couple of lads, and they said, oh yeah, they're also going for the assessment. So I just followed them, and then we went. There was this like coach parked in the car park, and we could see lots of people like forming a queue to go into the coach. So we all knew that was where we were meant to go. And there was a soldier there as well, like checking passports, making sure everyone there is meant to be on the coach. So yeah, I mean, so we did that, go on the coach. We got transported to the assessment center. So the first thing we did when we arrived at the assessment center was we had to do something called icebreaker. So with the icebreaker, you have to stand up in front of everyone and talk about yourself a bit. So like where you're from, your name, your age, and what you want to do in the army as well. So that was like the first thing we did. It was a bit nerve-wracking, because imagine standing in front of complete strangers and telling them I'm from Ghana, Charlie, be some way, be long. Yeah, but you have to do it, because you just have to do it. It's one of those things. So yeah, we did that. We had to fill some forms, first. I don't remember what forms it was, but yeah, it's easy stuff. Like, you'll be told what to do. One big hurdle I had was the language barrier, Charlie. back in Ghana, I was thinking I'm the best student in English, but when I got here, I was like, the English is just different. Like, Masa, unti brofwa, asube shirof. At the assessment center, you get given babes, and each babe has a number. So instead of trying to remember your name, they call you by your number. So that's what was given to us on the first day. We got shown around where we have to go for food. We call it SCOF. So anytime I say SCOF, SCOF means food. We got shown our accommodation as well. It was like 12-man room or something. Yeah, 12-man room, so, like bunk beds. So you just choose whichever one you want. First come, first serve. And then yeah, we settled down for the night. Yeah, so the next day we had our medical test. This test is like really rigorous, and this is where you have no control. You don't know what you have, especially if you really don't know what you have. You can't do anything about it. So yeah, I read somewhere, I think I've written it down here. So in the last 5 years, 23,763 Commonwealth applications were rejected. Why? Most of it was because of medical reasons, and also the other one was lack of vacancies, and also incomplete paperwork. So imagine, medical reasons, you have no control over it. Vacancies as well. Sometimes you guys apply and then they're like, sorry, there's no vacancy. Yes, it is what it is, because there's a lot of people trying to apply for the army and there's only a few jobs that are available. So it's like a queue. So when you see that message, it doesn't mean it's over forever or something. Like, try again later. And also incomplete paperwork. So yeah, we did the medical test, and so it includes an eye test, ECG to check your heart, to make sure everything is okay with your heart. There's a physical examination as well. So there's no injection or anything like that, but then they really check your body to make sure that there's nothing that's going to affect you joining the army. So when you go to the part where I had to get my heart checked, the doctor was like, I have a heart murmur. I was like, what? Heart murmur? What's that? Like, I've never heard of that before. So I was panicking, like, Charlie. I was really stressed that day. I was literally like praying, like, God, please, this is not where after all I've been through, this is not where I get to fail just because of some medical condition that I have no idea about. So they were like, they're going to do a thorough like check to make sure that everything is okay. So after spending like 2 hours waiting for the results to come, like, those 2 hours was like the longest. I don't know, it was just long, because Charlie, imagine getting told, Charlie, you have something that you've never known about, and you do a test and you're like, oh, wait for your results. So there's only 2 outcomes here. If the result comes out and you actually have a problem, then there's no way you're joining the army, so you're going back home. And if it comes out and there's no problem, then you get to stay. So it's like, Charlie, imagine the stress, sitting there for 2 hours waiting for results, which is not in your hands. I was just praying. I was here, Charlie. So finally the results came and they were like, oh, your heart is okay, you have no issues. It's like, wow. I was just relieved. Yeah, seriously, because at that point you can't do anything. If they tell you, oh, you have a heart issue, what can you do? Nothing. So yeah, I received the good news, went back to my room. The next thing we had to do was the cognitive test. So you sit behind a desktop computer and then do the cognitive test. And then there's also numeracy and literacy. So that's basic English and maths. So that's like JHS level English and maths. So that's easy, man. Yeah. So I did that, passed as well. So after that, went back to our rooms to chill for the next day. That was the final day. So on the final day, the first thing we did after breakfast was the medicine ball throw. We also did mid-thigh pull, and then we went straight into the 2-kilometer run. But in these days, I think it's either you do a 2-kilometer run or you do a beep test. So we did that, and I passed as well. And then there's this test called the team task. Team task, yeah. So with the team task, you get put in groups of maybe 4, then you get presented with a problem and you guys have to solve it together. So this is where, like, it's just to see if you guys can act as a team, because being in the army is all about working in teams. So this test is very, very important, because a friend of mine who was on my assessment had failed previously. Like, he had failed the assessment just because he failed the the team task. He was just too quiet. He wasn't really contributing. He wasn't talking. So he got sent away and had to wait a year to come back and do the assessment again. So imagine if your visa is expiring in, let's say, like 2 months time, and you fail on one of the aspects, let's say 2-kilometer run, you fail, and you get told you need to come back in 6 months time. Guess what? You have to spend a lot of money to go back to Ghana or wherever you're coming from, apply for visa again, come back. It's just so much expense that's not needed. Like, so I'll say prepare well and just pass the test, because it's nothing extraordinary that you can do. If we have been able to do it, why can't you do it as well? So yeah, so with the team task, my only advice would be try and get yourself involved. Just contribute, open your mouth and say something. That's all you need to do for the team task. Yeah. So after the team task, we did a grenade throw. They taught us how to throw a grenade. So that's like a little extra something that they put in there. So yeah, finally we were done with all the tests. Went back to our rooms, showered, packed our stuff, and then dressed up for our final interview. So with the final interview, that's where you find out how well you've done during the whole assessment. So you get given a grade from A+ to A, B, C, you know. Oh yes, I forgot to add, there's something called a technical selection test. So when you do your cognitive test and you do your literacy and numeracy test, that's the basic English and maths, you get an option to do something called a technical selection test as well. So this is for if you want a technical job, like maybe you want to be a surveyor, you want to be a construction material technician. At the final interview, that's where you get, you find out how well you've done and you get given a grade. The higher you score, the more job roles are open to you. So if you did very well during the assessment, then you get like a lot of options to choose from. So with the options, each option has a different basic training start date. So once you choose the option you want, then you get told what date the basic training starting for that trade begins. You get what I mean? Someone will ask, what does passing the assessment mean? So passing the assessment basically means that you are now eligible to be trained as a soldier. And what does failing mean as well? Failing the assessment means you are not eligible to be trained as a soldier. It doesn't mean that's the end of it for you. Like I said previously, you'll be asked to come back at a later date to complete the assessment again. But then for Commonwealth applicants, don't forget you're already on a visit visa, and the visa has an expiry date. So if you are told, oh, come back in 6 months time, and your visa is expiring in like 2 months, you're just going to incur a lot of costs in traveling up and down, because at this point you are still not in the army, so the army is not going to cater for your travel. So yeah, so like I was saying, a lot of applications are rejected, and most of it is because of medical reasons, and the other reason is also because of lack of vacancies. And then the final one is incomplete paperwork, basically. So when you're filling the forms, make sure you fill it properly. If you don't understand anything on it, you can contact your candidate support manager. That's what they're there for. They're there to support you. So just go on your portal, either call or email them, and they will explain further. That's their job anyways. So yeah, I hope you guys found this vlog, I don't know, interesting or informative. I couldn't give a lot of details because it's been a while. Like this was like 4 years ago. I can't remember all the tiny details, but I tried to pick out like the most important stuff. So yeah, if there's anything else you'd like to know, you can comment in the comment section and I'll reply, or you can DM me on Instagram. If you already have your assessment dates and you're going to be attending very soon, all the best of luck, and train hard. Hard training, easy battle. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.